17 inches in spots.
Just like all moms, I'm always concerned about my children's well-being. But sometimes they get sick, sometimes they get hurt. That's why I'm so grateful we have children's hospitals, because when any child needs a miracle, they'll do everything in their power to make one happen. With our support, please join me in giving sick and injured children every chance to get better. Put your money where the miracles are. Give to your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
All we need to sell Strongbow Hard Cider is ice. And an award for best tasting hard cider.
Have you got the shot yet?
Remember that thing about keeping your face behind the award? Strongbow.
People think if they don't check their credit score, they don't have one. But they do. Your score still needs someone to take care of it. It needs your help. For the low price of completely free forever, you can get your credit score from CreditKarma.com. Credit Karma will give you your score for free and show you what you can do to nurture it. Love your score. Take care of it for free at CreditKarma.com.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 85 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy, high 86. Winds east-northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds, low 75. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I accept that I'm not 21. I accept I'm not the sprinter I was back in college. I even accept that I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. But I won't accept giving it less than my best. So if I can go for something better than warfarin, I will. Eliquis. Eliquis reduced the risk of stroke better than warfarin. Plus, it had less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis had both. That really mattered to me.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
I accept that I'm not as fast, but I'm still going for my personal best and for Eliquis.
Reduced risk of stroke plus less major bleeding. Ask your doctor if Eliquis is right for you.
Wow, sweet new Subaru, huh, Mitch?
Yep. You're selling the Mitchmobile?
Man, we had a lot of good times in this baby. What's your dad want for it?
Like 150 grand.
200 if they want that tape deck. You're not gonna tell your dad about the time my hamster had babies in the back seat, are you? That's just normal wear and tear, dude.
Subaru has the highest resale value of any brand, according to Kelley Blue Book. And Mitch. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a...
When it drives and looks like new,
you'll want to treat it like new. Certified pre-owned by BMW. Now at Braman BMW, get 0.9% financing, and BMW makes your first 2 payments.
Mom and Dad told us they had just made their funeral and burial pre-arrangements. We thought they already had taken care of that. When we learned it was through Beth Israel and Eternal Light, we knew everything would be handled in the most caring and professional way. We realized it would be one of the most difficult days of our lives. It inspired my husband and me to make our own pre-arrangements so the burden wouldn't fall on our children when that day comes. It's not an easy thing to think about, but I'm so glad we did.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
Keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history together.
Thanks for staying with us here on Weather Center Live. I'm here in the lab with severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes. But first, before we talk about where the storms are, we've got Russ Contreras on the phone. He is our storm chaser who's been out there around Palo Pinto, Texas. And now you're in Mingus. Can you tell us a little bit about the storm you've been tracking, how long you've been on it, and what you're seeing?
Yeah, I've been on the storm since it first started up there near, I guess I was near Olney, and then I just been tracking the storm southeast towards, right now I'm in Mingus. So we had beautiful structure early on, wall clouds. Some of the best structure I've seen in some time. So right now we're just, the storm's over some hill country, and which is really kind of hard to see with hills and trees. So I am just trying to get into position off of Highway 20 and get a better visual on the storm coming through.
Okay, wonderful. Hey, Russ, we're going to stay with you. We're going to have Dr. Forbes talk a little bit about these. I know you've got to get gas, but Dr. Forbes, you've mentioned, this could be a tough one to see because of the rain around.
Yeah, it's certainly rain-wrapped, and it's dangerous. It, at one point, was extremely intense, has weakened a little bit, but always these storms will cycle and rotate again. I wanted to show you the story here, the big picture. This area has a tornado watch, and as well now, severe thunderstorm watches down into the San Angelo area and up into the Oklahoma City area. And within that, we have this big exploding storm there. It's the southern of these storms that are firing up all the way from near this boundary, a little bit over the boundary where it's a little bit cooler to the north. Very warm Gulf of Mexico air to the south of that, and the storms have just fired up with rotation there. There's been at least one tornado reported with this, but there could be others that may not be seen. It's really a high precipitation supercell, and it has spiraled, and now I think the rain has wrapped all the way around it as it's coming down toward Highway 180. Palo Pinto is around there. Tracking this out, it's coming toward Palo Pinto, the Lone Camp, the Brazos area. I think it's made a turn a bit toward the south, is going to miss the Mineral Wells area. Here's the high resolution radar. We've had reports of tornadoes in these areas near Brad and north and west of the Metcalf area. I'll go to and take a look at the velocities. They were very strong about a half hour ago or less. Now, mostly what we're seeing are these big surges with a little bit of a tendency to try to reform. There's a little bit of red in there, trying to reform a new circulation out on the flanks of the storm, and that's kind of characteristic of what can happen with a little bit of an inflow notch trying to come in here. So if there is a new reformation, it'll be east of Metcalf Gap and go south of Palo Pinto. We continue to see there on the left there sort of a dark wall of cloud. That would probably be one of the edges of these rain-cooled downdrafts that are wrapping around the storm and have initially wrapped around the initial tornado that we had. So dangerous storms there. Could be damaging winds that are working their way up into the Wichita Falls area, Clay, Cotton, Wichita counties with severe thunderstorm warnings. Look at the outflow boundary that's gone northwest, this little green line. There's other storms in Oklahoma that are putting out a boundary going southwest. I'll bet you we get an explosion of storms where those two collide. Yeah, that often happens. The air gets squeezed up. Tonight, the storms that are there now probably will make some foray into central parts of Texas. This is one computer rendition of that. Maybe come to Dallas, maybe weaken before they get to Shreveport, maybe get to San Antonio, but probably by morning don't get to the Houston area, but maybe a little after morning, that next round of storms here will head their way. That end of that animation forecast is happened last night. This animation, the satellite picture shows the storms in the evening. It rained hard from about 9 to 2:30 a.m. The remnants of that are now in Georgia heading into South Carolina. 11 inches of rain fell in parts of the Houston metro area, and some of those storms now are, the remnants at least, are ongoing across parts of Georgia and heading into South Carolina. There has been damaging winds with those heading up into Anderson and Greenwood, South Carolina, ultimately Greenville, up into the Midwest. Big spinning upper low gave a tornado, damaging winds in eastern Illinois earlier. Now the storms are heading up into the Cleveland area. There is a severe thunderstorm watch there. We've earlier had a bow echo that has gone through the Dayton area about 5:15, caused some significant damage there. We could get that again in areas not too far from Cleveland.
All right, well, thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. There's your warning, folks. We're going to send it back to Dave now.
Thanks a lot. We got a severe thunderstorm warning for Detroit. Storms moving at us from the west and south. Severe thunderstorm warning for Wayne County till 8.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy, high 86. Winds east-northeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds, low 75. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back. We are looking west on I-20. Storm tracker Russ Contreras providing the pictures. He's got gas and he is ready to roll. He's been tracking this storm that's been moving around Palo Pinto County in Texas, tornado warned storm, and he is going to continue to provide us the visuals, but he is looking west towards that.
And the worst part of that storm apparently off to the right.
Yep.
That's where the downdraft side of that storm is. We see clear skies on the left all the way to the horizon. There's nothing falling from the cloud there.
And with all the rain, Dr. Forbes said that you don't want to go out and try to look for this one on your own. It's a very dangerous storm. You're going to have a tough time making that out.
This is well west of Fort Worth and Dallas, and there is a tornado watch in effect for that area till 10. And
we've got Russ back on the phone, so let's ask him. Hey, Russ, can you give us a little perspective about where you are and what you're seeing, maybe a little more detail?
Yeah, I'm just south of Mingus, and I'm on Highway 20 heading west. I'm just trying to get a better visual if I can get around these hills. Maybe I can provide you guys with a better picture of maybe a wall cloud.
And you mentioned earlier you did see a really impressive wall cloud with this same storm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this storm, some of the best structure and some of the best wall cloud features I've seen. I mean, it was pretty amazing early on. So.
You know, if you're watching...
Right now...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. And like you guys said, it's hidden in rain now, most of it. So we'll see what we can get on this view over here once I get to this stopping point up here.
Right, Russ. Dr. Greg Forbes was telling us that the tornadic circulation is now completely wrapped by rain, and there may be a new tornadic part of that cell. And as soon as he gets to a better vantage point in the storm, we'll get back to Russ. But let's get into the lab.
Let's do it. Severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes is standing by for more analysis on this storm as well as the others out there.
Yeah, guys, this is the storm of the day in terms of storms that have rotation. We do have a tornado watch that includes this area west of the Fort Worth area, but it does go out into this area where the storm is. Severe thunderstorm watches include San Angelo and up into the Oklahoma City metro area. Let's take a look here. This storm that Russ is chasing is the southern one look at the big overshooting tops there. The sun is off to the west there, trying to set, so it's casting shadows east, the black shadows east of that big overshooting top. And then there's some additional thunderstorms that are popped up north of this purple dashed line that I've drawn. That's a cool, rain-cooled boundary. You see all the stabilized clouds north of that, but there's some hail that can form north of that. But in the warm air, here is the storm coming across with a tornado warning for Palo Pinto County. It has taken a jog to the right. It's crossing a Highway 180, heading for I-20. And we'll take a look here in the to try to track this out. Lone Camp, Brazos, and the Dennis areas might, if it turns more to the right, might come to the Lipan area. Now I wanted to go to the high definition radar. Here is Palo Pinto. So tornado's going to miss you, but you're getting hail and very heavy rain. Let's see. There has been some reorganization of this. Earlier, we didn't have much in the way of red. It's trying to reorganize. There's a lot of east flow. There's a little bit of west flow there, just to the area, just to the east of Metcalf Gap, and just to the southwest of Palo Pinto. So that would take the storm down toward the Brazos area. And so it still is a dangerous storm. You can see there an attempt to reform a hook, but what you also see is all that rain that's out ahead of that. So it could still be a rain-wrapped tornado. Very difficult to see if you're a chaser. Dangerous if it intensifies further. Severe thunderstorms running left away from that storm have continued to go with hail and damaging winds coming up into the past the Wichita Falls area now. Look at the outflow going northwest from that storm. So you know it has some winds with it. And these storms, this computer model is doing a decent job of predicting these spotty storms. And so let's see what it says tonight. Will we get storms coming toward the Houston area before sunrise? There's some storms that form a little here and there coming toward San Antonio, maybe toward Dallas, but most of these storms now, according to this model, do not get to Houston overnight tonight. Maybe something tomorrow morning, but certainly not that massive squall line like we saw here last night. This is the satellite version at the beginning of this 24-hour animation. It's over Houston. The remnants of that now are over Georgia and South Carolina, but the storms today are moving. But last night, 9 to about 2:30 a.m., it rained hard, up to 4 inches per hour, left accumulations of 11 inches. In fact, one spot, 11.35 in the Houston area. That's why we're getting this massive flooding that we're seeing video of today. Today, some spotty severe thunderstorms across Georgia, the strongest of which is a line segment that it came across Atlanta. Now it's coming up into Anderson and Greenwood in South Carolina, Abbeville and Anderson counties with severe warnings. We also have another system, big multi-centered upper low. You can see in the visible satellite imagery here. The first round this morning gave a tornado and damaging winds in eastern Illinois. Now it's mostly in the Cleveland area. We have a severe thunderstorm watch there until 11, but the storms are there right now, basically lining themselves up. They've weakened a little bit. Now the strongest storms are up north of the Columbus area. Storms are weakened as they're coming toward the Cleveland area, the Akron area, no longer severe warned. We did have damage from one of these line segments or bow echoes as it came into Dayton about 5:15 Eastern time. Thunderstorms mostly not severe coming across Kentucky and Tennessee. Tomorrow we'll again have some of these areas in the Ohio Valley as well as up into the interior parts of the Northeast with spotty damaging winds. And tonight, as I'm saying, oh, look at the picture there now. We're getting a wall cloud there in the picture at the left. So tornado chance tonight, right in the middle of the picture there. Beautiful wall cloud, I believe, that's hanging down below the base of the rest of the cloud. So we'll continue to monitor our storm chaser out there, Russ, and we'll be back. Let's go back to the studio now, Dave and Alex.
Thank you so much, Dr. Forbes. Yeah, we want to get back to Russ on the phone. Maybe he could give us a little bit more perspective as he's there, you know, in person, taking a look at this. Russ, Dr. Forbes thinks maybe in the middle, so a wall cloud. Is that roughly what you would think looking at this in person?
Yeah, I mean, it appeared to be a wall cloud. There's a lot of rotating, clouds going, up into it. It's kind of unorganized, but we have a nice shelf cloud forming out front of it now.
Yeah, Dave and I did get a good look at that. And then, yeah, as you said, unorganized, a little bit of maybe scud clouds, just some kind of lower hanging areas that were a little tough to exactly place.
Yeah, well, that storm, which is west of Fort Worth, there's your tornado warning, has been reorganizing of late. The old tornadic circulation has now been pinched off by rain, and it's kind of in the middle, I guess where that highway sign is on the right side, just to the east of the purple. Right. On that. And so that's well into the rain, which would be way off in the distance and to your right. Does that sound reasonable to you, Russ?
Yeah, I mean, right now the temperature is really warm out here. It's not really outflow right now, so we do have rising scud into the clouds.
Right.
Possible wall cloud forming again off to the far right.
All right, we are going to check in with you right after the break, Russ. Thank you.
You got a truck for a reason, remember? The Firestone Destination AT. Long link, carbon reinforced to conquer any terrain and any truck stuff. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Amore.
Subito.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. Ooh. Bigger, more powerful, and ready for action.
Behind this door, there's a scientific genius at work. My daughter. It all started when she got a Dell 2-in-1. It's a tablet when you want it, and a laptop when you need it. Dell 2-in-1s with Intel inside have everything you need to learn and do just about anything. Whoa, genius! Like father, like daughter.
Dell Inspiron 2-in-1s, starting at $379.99. Buy select PCs for $699.99 or more and get a free 32-inch TV.
Everyone, remain calm.
Rated PG-13.
Currently in our area. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 85. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
One of the Foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's DreamWalk Express Pedi.
Super Polygrip seals out more food particles so your food won't get stuck, and you can enjoy every single bite. Eat loud, live loud. Super Polygrip. Super Polygrip holds your dentures tightly in place, so you never have to hold back. Laugh loud, live loud. Super Polygrip.
So you ready for the night? And don't it feel nice?
Summer never looks so good. Bud Light Lime, same 100% natural lime flavor in a new bottle. Summer on.
Okay, we're looking at a storm chaser. Isn't that something, huh? A storm chaser shooting this video in Palo Pinto County. This is west of Fort Worth, Texas, right off of Highway 20. Thank you, Russ Contreras, for that. We're going to keep that up for you to look at while we check storms elsewhere across the country. So that'll be in behind me here. And then we've got the latest severe weather. Leading edge of these thunderstorms, the remnants of last night's severe weather in Texas, has made it all the way over to Georgia and South Carolina. Severe thunderstorm warnings right across the Savannah River in the upstate of South Carolina, okay, including Anderson and Due West, Hartwell, and Reed Creek. Severe thunderstorm warnings are in effect here. If you hear thunder, they're these storms, and they're coming at you from the southwest. Damaging wind, small hail, deadly lightning, and torrential downpours as these things move through. Okay? So that is northeast Georgia and upstate of South Carolina. Then we follow this line a little further north, and this extends all the way up into the state of Michigan right now. Detroit is under a severe thunderstorm warning at the present time. So we move from South Carolina further north along that front. These are the storms that blew through Atlanta. That rain is now tapering off here at the end of rush hour. There we've got a severe thunderstorm north of Columbus, and actually down near Dayton, cars were flipped over in a parking lot, a Kmart parking lot southeast side of Dayton earlier. These are the same storms that blew through here, moving rapidly toward the northeast, and on the leading edge of this line, it just moved through Marion. Damaging winds are possible. Trees or parts thereof going down. There could be some power outages as well. And then our last stop takes us up into Detroit, where that severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect. Out at the airport on the southwest side of town in Romulus, they just had a wind gust of 35 miles an hour with some very heavy rain. So no damaging winds, at least there at the airport, but just north of Brownstown and then moving right over downtown in Highland Park, severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect. So that's Dearborn, Detroit, and Livonia. And these will head northward up toward Lake St. Clair. Warm and humid as far north as Michigan, actually up into southern Canada. We've got some warm, humid air. Look at that storm in behind me. Wow. Look at that thing. That is nasty. Off to the right, that's Highway US 20 that our storm tracker is taking. And the bulk of the storm is to the north of Highway 20. So the storm is actually moving toward the camera. This storm tracker is moving closer to the storm to get a better look, and it has produced a tornado already today. It's still a tornado-warned storm for Palo Pinto County. This is slowly moving toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and if you live in Dallas and Fort Worth, and you look up in the sky, you will see a sheet of high, thin clouds. That's the exhaust off of this storm. So we're looking at the inflow underneath it, but the top of it, the exhaust of the storm, is blowing over north central Texas, including the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Let's go back to Florida here. We got some big storms as well. There have been numerous reports of people injured or even killed in high surf off the East Coast. The West Coast is fine, but now we've got thunderstorms here. No surf problems because we have an offshore wind, but a very heavy frog-strangling thunderstorm right now between Tampa and Clearwater, and it's moving slowly toward the west. There's a lot of lightning with it, and due to the slow motion of it, the rain just keeps coming down. So be careful out here. Interstate 75 and then the west all the way over to the coast. Tarpon Springs included. Strong thunderstorms here in Florida. A funnel cloud has been detected, I see. In South Tampa, a trained storm spotter reported a funnel cloud located over northern Tampa Bay, right here. It is moving toward the west, north of St. Petersburg. There's another look at that storm in Texas. Back to Alex with more.
Yeah, amazing to see that lowering a wall cloud likely out of this storm. He is on I-20 near Thurber, Texas. We'll have much more after the break.
All we need to sell Strongbow Hard Cider is ice. And an award for best tasting hard cider.
Have you got the shot yet?
Remember that thing about keeping your face behind the award? Strongbow.
Devour food that's good for you. The same way you devour food that's not good for you.
We got the new Temperflex, and it's got the spring and bounce of a traditional mattress.
You sink into it, but you can still move around.
And now that I have a Temperflex, I can finally get a good night's sleep.
I flop down on the bed, and it's just like, this is perfect.
Wherever you put your body, it just supports you.
Like little support elves are just holding you.
I can sleep now through the night.
Change your sleep. Change your life. Change to Tempur-Pedic.
Once we were dreamers, adventurers set out to discover new lands, new people, new ways. Once we were great explorers, in search of hidden treasure, secret hideouts, magic lands. The treasure is still here and waiting to inspire a new generation of dreamers. Come uncover the riches and bounty of pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
Your buddy Ron is always full of advice, usually bad. So when Ron said you'd never afford a John Deere tractor, you knew better. The E-Series, legendary quality, unexpected low price.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the weather.
City Furniture's Memorial Day sale has been extended through Monday. A complete queen bedroom is just $9.99. A bonded leather sectional, $7.99. A 5-piece dining set, $3.99. And find more great specials at cityfurniture.com. Plus, enjoy same-day delivery and no interest till 2017. Create memories that last a lifetime at City Furniture.
Looks like the Garcias got a new car.
What'd they get?
I don't know. It's pretty nice. Maybe he got a raise.
Good for him.
Good for her.
The expectation-shattering Buick Enclave.
Now current lessees, switch to Buick and lease this 2015 Enclave for around $291 a month with just $291 due at signing.
3.
This program is brought to you by Kibbles and Bits.
This is good, Mom.
Good? It's delicious. And this new kibble blend is so healthy.
Thank you.
No, Nancy. Thank you. Kibbles and Bits, because every bit matters.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 85. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Storm chaser Russ Contreras is getting closer to this dangerous storm that's been warned on now for 3 hours near Thurber, Texas, off of I-20 west of Fort Worth. That is a severe thunderstorm, and that kind of dusty look in the middle, that's rain, hail, and who knows what's inside of that, because we've had reports of a rain-wrapped tornado from earlier today. So he doesn't want to get much closer than this. This is Palo Pinto County, 2 counties west of Fort Worth, Texas.
And still that warning on this. Now, well to the south in Austin, really actually south of Austin, Wimberley, Texas, the Blanco River crested, spilling its banks, and that caused widespread, incredible damage to homes.
Yeah, this was amazing. It happened so fast. We find our NBC's Jay Gray, and he's got just some more incredible images for us. Jay, what do you have?
Hey there, Dave, Alex, and I want to show you just how intense, how strong this water was as it moved through. There are debris piles that are 20 feet high or more, and if you take a look behind me and about 100 yards away or so, those green cabins used to be in this area, swept by the water off of their slabs and over across a roadway and into an embankment here. Again, just a testimony to the power ripped away homes and families here.
From the air and in the light of day, the streets of Houston look more like canals after flash floods swept across the area overnight.
We had torrential rain in a very short period of time in the middle of the night.
More than 10 inches of rain in some areas in just hours. Cars, trucks, even tractor trailers were no match for the rising floodwaters that overwhelmed dozens of city streets. Response teams carried out more than 500 high water rescues throughout the night and into the day.
Just use good common sense. Stay in, stay out of the high water. Don't drive into the high water.
In Wimberley, Texas, the search continues among the missing 2 families with children.
My sister will always be my sister.
Laura McComb made a frantic call to her sister Julie as the floodwaters took their cabin.
The house we were in, the roof collapsed, and we are now floating down the river. Call Mom and Dad. I love you, and pray.
Her husband, Jonathan, was found almost 12 miles downriver. Laura and their 2 kids still listed as missing.
The blessing in all of this is she with her children. And she is with her babies, and she will be with her babies always in heaven. And we know that as a family.
A family like this area torn apart by the water and still searching for answers.
And a live look now at the Blanco River, and you can see it's still flowing very quickly. The water is so powerful at its peak, it ripped away the bark from some of the trees, and you can see that there as you work back across what is a debris field here. Some of the slabs from those green cabins we showed you earlier. This is still a rescue and recovery, according to officials here, one that's going to continue, unfortunately, with more rain in the forecast for the next several days. That's the latest live here in Wimberley, Texas. I'm Jay Gray. Dave, Alex, back to you.
What a story. Thank you so much, Jay, for that report.
You know, Austin, one of the first cities inundated by flood water, and this is the video behind us. We covered the rising water as breaking news about 24 hours ago right here. Shoal Creek caused a lot of the problems around downtown. There were homes, highways, football fields underwater. Take a look at some of this video. The water moving quickly here, carrying debris. This is why we warn you about floodwaters. Not only can there be debris, but also creatures in the water.
This is a water rescue going on next to House Park in downtown Austin. That's the name of the football stadium. Now, it's hard to see, but someone in a blue jacket is clinging to the electronic sign at the top of the video. Now, that's the person these rescuers are trying to reach. They would grab the person and get them to dry land. Fortunately, a group of people were watching from above on 15th Street. You'll see them in this next clip.
They love it.
All rescuers are back on shore.
Weather Wellness Program is brought to you by Nature Made Vitamins.
Did you know only 1% of supplements have earned the USP mark, an independent certification for quality and purity? I recommend Nature Made because they've earned the most of any brand.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended letter vitamin brand.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier Tire, even as it wears down over time, its safety doesn't, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier Tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Walmart's low prices every day, it's not just about having more savings. It's about having more fun. Great get-togethers start with low prices you can trust every day.
There's a more enjoyable way to get your fiber. Try Philips Fiber Good Gummies Plus Energy Support. It's a new fiber supplement that helps support regularity and includes B vitamins to help convert food to energy.
These are good. Nice work, Philips.
The tasty side of fiber from Philips.
You see miracles all the time at our children's hospital. The first smile after surgery, a girl walking when they said she wouldn't, parents getting good news. But miracles never come easy. That's why, as great as children's hospitals are, they need our support to keep miracles happening. Put your money where the miracles are. Support your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
Glad you're with us right here on AMHQ. The whole team.
Right? Either go all in or just tap out.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
As we say, keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history happen together.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 85. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
All right, thanks for staying with us. We are looking live near Thurber, Texas. This is in Palo Pinto County where we've had a tornado warning, and we've got our storm chaser on it. We're going to head out to him on the phone. And, you know, at last check, this storm was pretty disorganized. How's it looking now? Have things picked up as far as the organization or the structure of this storm?
As far as the organization, I am heading west. I might have to punch through a little bit of it. I'm going to try to get on the west side of the storm. But kind of heavy rain right now, so it kind of looks a little ominous.
Yeah, having a difficult time hearing them. Remember, we're relying on cell phone service, not just for the communication, but also for the picture. So we're going to stay with his shot. We'll get more from him when we can. But right now, we've also got a severe weather expert here.
Right, and looks like we have a pretty good couplet right there indicating a tornado. Let's get to the lab. Dr. Greg Forbes, our severe weather expert, is standing by live.
Thanks, Dave. And Alex, this storm has definitely been cycling, and so it has produced another tornado as far as we can tell. We do have tornado watch, meaning conditions are favorable in this area of Texas. Severe thunderstorm watches go until 1 a.m. for San Angelo and 1 a.m. for Oklahoma City. And there is a tornado warning also in that Oklahoma part. These storms are blowing up along this boundary. It's warm to the south of that, cooler to the north. That gives some shifting winds, some colliding winds. And in the warmest of this air, we've had a high precipitation supercell that Russ Contreras is trying to chase, and you can see just how much rain there is and hail right around the rotating core of the storm. The core is off to the north and east of Strawn now, heading toward the Lipan area. Palo Pinto County, you're under tornado warning. Not moving very fast, less than 15 miles per hour toward the south and east, but it's heading right towards Santo. That would be about 701. Probably the Lipan and Dennis areas there around 745, 747 or so. Wanted to show you here in high resolution. Can you see how this purple wraps around? Well, it's wrapping around like that into almost a donut hole because the storm is rotating strongly in there. And look at that. The red's blasting its way eastbound, the blues westbound. So that's what we call a tornado vortex signature. We asked the radar to quantify that that, it's pretty strong. Blue, green, yellow, red, lavender, it's up into the strong range. Do we have any debris showing up with that? No debris. We don't see a little blue hole with that, so that's a good thing, but it certainly would appear that there's a tornado in progress, hidden by rain and heading its way inside, and maybe hidden by hail as well, heading its way toward the Santo area. So if you live there, you need to be seeking shelter. Jumping up then into Oklahoma, well to the west of Oklahoma City, but a tornado warning there along I-40 and maybe literally along I-40 within a mile or two of it. Blaine, Caddo, and Custer counties with a tornado warning there. You can see this is a more traditional hook echo for the supercell. Instead of one of these HP types, there's a hook that's right out the southwest flank there. So that's where the tornado would be, heading along probably maybe a mile or two south of I-40 toward the hydro area about 640, Bridgeport about 724. These storms can make a right turn, could head to Hinton. If it weakens, it could come right up across I-40, and of course there's a lot of rain and hail even on I-40 there. This model is doing a pretty good job of forecasting where the storms are right now. And so let's see what it says overnight in terms of will we get more rain before morning into the Houston area. So this computer model says be some outflow boundaries coming off these existing storms that maybe head south of Dallas, maybe give a few storms around the San Antonio-Austin area, but don't get much rain. If anything, maybe one stray storm into the Houston area. Pretty garden variety compared to the 9 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. rain event with up to 4 inches per hour like you had last night. That's the beginning of this satellite animation. The remnants of that now are in Georgia and heading into South Carolina. They've had movement with them, unlike last night. So last night we got 11 inches of rain. In fact, one location in the Houston metro got 11.35 inches of rain, and that's why we have all that flooding you're seeing today. Thunderstorms, but they're moving today across Georgia. Local flash flooding is certainly a possibility, road flooding, and we've had some reports of trees and power lines down, even some roof damage. Now that's a bow echo coming up around Anderson, South Carolina, toward Greenville and Spartanburg. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, lightning always a big threat. Big spinning upper low is giving and has given a tornado this morning in eastern Illinois. Now most of the threat is just passing Detroit and up around the Cleveland area. Severe thunderstorm watch is in effect there. The storms still in the Detroit area, about to move out. Another round coming toward the Cleveland area. Let's take a look at those. Detroit, you've been under a severe thunderstorm warning. It's just now the far northern edge of Wayne County that has still a severe thunderstorm in that. And here, well-defined bow echo. So you've seen these normal classic supercells, you've seen high precipitation supercells, now you're seeing a bow echo. We're getting the whole zoo of severe weather types of radar configurations today. This one, Morrow County, coming up toward the Mansfield and the Worcester counties of Ohio. Thunderstorms, lots of them, coming toward London, Kentucky. They've passed Lexington, Kentucky, coming toward the Knoxville area. Occasionally severe warned, but not at the moment. But tomorrow, we could see some severe thunderstorms again with these spotty damaging winds all the way up into interior parts of New England, much of New York State, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, down into perhaps a tail down into the Ohio Valley. Tonight, thunderstorms, isolated tornadoes and damaging winds might get to Dallas, might get to Austin, and then as you've seen from that computer model, probably weaken before they get much farther east than that. Again tomorrow, some of these same areas will have some of these scattered severe thunderstorms, and including maybe tomorrow up into southeast parts of Colorado as well. Tornado Condition Index 3, southeast Colorado, 4 for this Oklahoma-Texas juncture area, not too far from where we're having that today. And of course, these thunderstorms with saturated ground, Dave, will again give some locally heavy rain and flash flooding.
Right, which is the last thing we need more of. Thank you so much, Dr. Greg Forbes. We're going to keep that shot up on the left. That's of the storm in Palo Pinto County, for which there's a tornado warning right now. That's a couple of counties west of Fort Worth. On the right, images from a wind damage event on the southeast side of Dayton early this afternoon. 2 cars were flipped over in a Kmart parking lot. Now, maybe it's hard to see them here, but we have some other shots that'll make it more clear. You see the guy on the right with the orange top? Well, just behind him is a car that's completely overturned at the base of that tree. You see that? And then beneath the other tree, another car on its side. Now, none of these trees is down. I don't see any trash damage. So this is trash strewn around. So this is a rather interesting image. There was a squall line of thunderstorms that blew on by. The car in the foreground may actually have been moved. It may have been parked. It appears to be on the grass island in there, and then beyond that, one of the two cars that is overturned, and reports of roof damage in the shopping center just behind us, especially at this at a fitness place in the shopping center on the southeast side of Dayton. So once again, on the left side, a thunderstorm that's been producing a tornado off and on, allegedly, for hours now. This is just to the north of Interstate 20. This storm chaser is heading east on I-20 right now. So, severe weather from Texas to Ohio. We've also got a flood threat. Here's Alex with that.
Right, you know, we've seen these fairly isolated storms across parts of Texas today. There's that tornado-warned storm that we are keeping an eye on the left-hand side of your screen. A few down near San Angelo. We've seen a few showers over near Houston coastal areas. But these storms, if you do see them, remember the ground's already saturated. We could see very heavy rainfall with them. So this storm offering up a flash flood warning for Palo Pinto County, including Grayford. This means that flash flooding is imminent or occurring across the area. And when we saw 5 inches of rain in 3 hours, this has been a slow-moving storm offering up some very, very heavy rainfall. Anything over an inch an hour could easily cause flooding in some of those low-lying areas when you're talking about a saturated ground. But when we talk about multiple inches, you know you've got problems. Major flooding in the purple, moderate in the red. So you see we've got problems all across parts of Oklahoma and Texas. More rain showers, thunderstorms possible across this part of the country tomorrow. And again, any storm could offer up some very heavy rain. Thursday, more of the same. Even on Friday, scattered showers and storms likely once again could pick up to an inch across much of Texas, 1 to 2 inches in spots.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 85. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Bridgestone's new Ecopia Plus tires are fuel efficient and engineered to give you 20 extra miles per tank.
20 extra miles? Good, because usually I have to stop and fill up there. Hit me, Ben. Wait, why is the road green?
Working on my feet all day gave me pain here.
In my knees.
But now, I step on this machine and get my number, which matches my Dr. Scholl's custom-fit orthotic inserts. Now I get immediate relief from my foot pain.
My knee pain.
Find a machine at drscholls.com.
Subito.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. Ooh. Bigger, more powerful, and ready for action.
Bud Light Live in a brand new bottle. Summer on.
If you're an adult with type 2 diabetes and your A1C is not at goal with certain diabetes pills or daily insulin, your doctor may be talking about adding medication to help lower your A1C. Ask your doctor if adding once-a-week Tanzium is right for you. Once-a-week Tanzium is an injectable prescription medicine that may improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes, along with diet and exercise. Once-a-week Tanzium works by helping your body release its own natural insulin when it's needed. Tanzium is not recommended as the first medicine to treat diabetes or in people with severe stomach or intestinal problems. Tanzium is not insulin. It is not used to treat type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis and has not been studied with mealtime insulin. Do not take Tanzium if you or your family have a history of medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to Tanzium or any of its ingredients. Stop using Tanzium and call your doctor right away if you experience symptoms of a serious allergic reaction, which may include itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. If you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe stomach pain that will not go away and may move to your back, with or without vomiting. Or if you have symptoms of thyroid cancer, which include a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Before using Tanzium, talk to your doctor about your medical conditions, all medicines you're taking, if you're nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, and about low blood sugar and how to manage it. Taking Tanzium with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects with Tanzium include diarrhea, nausea, injection site reactions, cough, back pain, and cold or flu symptoms. Some serious side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney failure. Ask your doctor if adding once a week Tanzium is right for you. Go to Tanzium.com to learn if you may be eligible to receive Tanzium free for 12 months. Make every week a Tanzium week.
Behind this door, there's a scientific genius at work. My daughter. It all started when she got a Dell 2-in-1. It's a tablet when you want it, and a laptop when you need it. Dell 2-in-1s with Intel inside have everything you need to learn and do just about anything. Whoa, genius! Like father, like daughter.
Dell Inspiron 2-in-1s, starting at $379.99. Buy select PCs for $699.99 or more and get a free 32-inch TV.
Storm chasers still zeroing in on a tornadic thunderstorm. A tornado warning remains in effect for Palo Pinto County, a couple of counties west of Fort Worth, Texas. It looks like he's back to, he's heading west, south, I'm assuming. Oh, he's heading south now. Okay, he's gotten off of Interstate 20 and some of the dark clouds in association with this cell. He's trying to get ahead of the storm, and we will keep you apprised of any progress that he makes.
Right, he's going to give us some more good looks. I mean, we've seen some incredible visuals out of this storm that has been tornado warned and flash flood warned for the heavy rainfall. And when we talk about heavy rain, you have to mention Houston. Last night into the early morning hours, torrential downpour, 5, 6, 7, even up to almost 11 inches in spots across the Houston.
Chicken Little was right last night in Houston. Absolutely, the sky was falling.
Absolutely. So we've got this great visual to show us some before and after pictures with the rainfall around the area. So what do you say? Number one?
Yeah, we got 4 different spots with before and after shots. So here we are zooming into pretty much downtown Houston right here, just off to the northeast. And we find a little waterway that usually is little on the left side of the screen.
Buffalo Bayou.
Right, Buffalo Bayou. But now, today, it's not so little anymore. That's the image on the right side of the screen.
Amazing stuff. I mean, this morning, look at these treetops looking like little islands in a river. And this building here, typically, you know, ground around it. But even the water coming up to the outside of that building, well up halfway along that bridge.
This is the same kind of flooding that they had out in Wimberley, where all those people were hurt or are missing.
Amazing stuff. So, all right, here's Houston. Let's go to spot number 2. This is going to take us a little bit northwest of where we just were.
Yep, as you head out toward the airport. And here we go. Before on the left, it's a road. After on the right, it's a lake.
All right, so for those of you familiar with the area, this is 49B, exit 49B on I-45 as you head north. I mean, folks' backyard on the other side of the tree line, covered in water. You can make that out, but yeah, I mean, this looks like a lake. At least the water's not moving quickly, but I mean, if your car's stuck there, you're not going anywhere.
And this weather disrupted the functioning of a major U.S. city.
Look at this.
Today.
We said this looked like a canal, right?
Yeah, it looks like a canal.
No, on a normal day, it's a busy
road.
Highway.
Right. Schools were closed today in Houston. Houston Independent School District closed, and many companies started off work a couple of hours late today.
Right. This is also I-45. So when you're talking about those major metro areas or roadways being unusable, no question as to why those people weren't able to make it into work.
Let's check the west side.
Let's do it. Here's another before and after snapshot. Memorial Parkway and Shepherd Drive. This intersection, totally flooded.
Look how close to the water on the right side of the screen it is to the bridge.
Right.
What, maybe 2 or 3 feet below the bridge base?
That's all it looks like. I mean, this looks like just a little walkway over a stream, but you are talking about 10 plus feet of water. Easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, amazing stuff. What do you say we get one more view here?
Yeah.
On the, oh no, I forgot. We got to go well out to the southwest.
Right.
This is in between Meadows Place and Stafford. So as we look at this area just north of 69, this is a fairly commercial looking area. We see a Wendy's, other businesses, but once again, standing water, cars up to, the tops of the wheels.
Yeah. So this was routine. The floodwaters didn't eat us up here in Houston, but many key areas were flooded out today because of that. And Houston is low country. It's like Charleston, Charleston, South Carolina. It's low country, so water and getting rid of it when you get flooding rains is a real issue.
Right. As Dr. Greg Forbes often says, gravity works. When you get all this heavy rainfall, these low-lying areas, that's where the water tends. Well, we weren't getting necessarily the rushing water, the rapids that we saw in other areas. You just got all that water funneling into these low spots like that underpass we just saw or this commercial street where you just had all that standing water and you just got to give it time and let it eventually drain away.
Well, from flooding to severe weather, we've got tornado warnings now in Oklahoma and Texas. So here we are west of Fort Worth on Interstate 20. Oh, there is the... Look at that hook echo crossing over Interstate 20, heading toward the southeast, toward Morgan Hill and Gordon. So take cover immediately.
We got the new Temperflex, and it's got the spring and bounce of a traditional mattress.
You sink into it, but you can still move around.
And now that I have a Temperflex, I can finally get a good night's sleep.
I flop down on the bed, and it's just like, this is perfect.
Wherever you put your body, it just supports you.
Like little support elves are just holding you.
I can sleep now through the night.
Change your sleep. Change your life. Change to Tempur-Pedic.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
We're kids still in school.
And it just hit us.
This was it. The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. It was a nightmare.
And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 85. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Summer never looks so good. Bud Light Lime. Same 100% natural lime flavor in a new bottle. Summer on.
This allergy season, will you be a sound sleeper or a mouth breather? We'll put on a Breathe Right strip and instantly open your nose up to 38% more than allergy medicines alone, so you can breathe and sleep. Shut your mouth and sleep right. Breathe Right.
Seems we've hit a roadblock.
That reminds me. Anyone have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
One Philips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Philips.
When our little girl was born, we got a Subaru. It's where she said her first word.
No.
Saw her first day of school.
Bye-bye.
Made a best friend forever.
Oh my God.
The backseat of my Subaru is where she grew up.
What?
The 2015 Subaru Forester.
What?
Built to be there for your family. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Constant Contact gives you all the best email marketing tools, like newsletters and event invites. So whether you run a small business or a nonprofit, you can connect with, well, everyone. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
I would describe my personal style as just that. It's totally personal. It's different every day. Logo line for QVC is about doing your own thing with clothes. Everything goes with anything. Don't be afraid. Play and mix and match and have layers. Style is yours, and nobody can take that away from you.
I've been asked to keep my voice down because we are so close to the ISIL position.
Who is in charge? Are they going to be held to account?
Right now we're following the research team into the fire.
They are learning how to practice democracy.
Just see tear gas being thrown. Glad there's somebody that care about us, man.
Several UN workers were kidnapped.
This is what's left of the hospital.
It's a crime that's underreported.
What do you think killed them?
We're making history right now.
Al Jazeera America, Channel 107.
Fat Guys in the Woods, new season June 7th on the Weather Channel.
I'm here in the lab with severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes. You know, we've got storms firing across parts of Texas and Oklahoma with 2 tornado warnings.
Yeah, and both of those storms have had tornadoes with them. We're talking about here a tornado warned storm right along I-40 west of Oklahoma City, and then pretty close to I-20, about 60 miles west of the Fort Worth area. It is taking more and more of a right turn with time. It's not going to come into the Fort Worth area, but let's start with that one. This one is what we call a high precipitation supercell thunderstorm. At times, in fact, most of the time, the tornado threat has been wrapped in rain. The tornado circulation right now likely to be about there, so look how much rain is out, several miles of rain out ahead of that. At times, though, it keeps trying to reform a circulation farther out to the east of it, but it's having trouble doing that, so that's a good thing. It probably means that we're not getting long-lived tornadoes with this, but we could get tornadoes that are hard to see if it's coming toward you. And right now, getting pretty close to Santo, maybe just slightly to the south of Santo, then coming towards the Patillo area, the Lipan area, Granbury around 850 as it heads to the south and east.
And you said this is not going to be something you can go out and look at, most likely, because it's that high precipitation.
That's exactly right. In fact, I'll show you here in the high definition radar, all of that golf ball size hail or so with that. And if we ask this radar, then where's the circulation? There may be 2 of them. There may actually be one, the old one that's hiding back here close to Gordon, and another one that's forming out here south and west of Santo. Again, the storm trying to cycle, having gotten the original circulation left in the rain, and a new one trying to form out closer to the rain, no rain interface. So that could also make this for a complex storm as it heads toward the Lipan area. Jumping then up into western parts of Oklahoma, well to the west of Oklahoma City, but close to I-40 there, Blaine, Caddo, and Custer counties with tornado warnings. This storm has had a massive collision, a merger of a storm, that ordinary thunderstorm that came up from the south and collided with it. So that's done a little bit of a disruption to the circulation, which was back in this area near Hinton. But either side of I-40, coming toward the Bridgeport area about 727, there's a chance that this storm will re-intensify into a tornado. Now, there has been a tornado. It was kind of a narrow, ropey elephant trunk type tornado back there to the southwest of Hydro. Let's take a look now and see if we can see if it is in the past couple minutes. No, in fact, the circulation, if anything, has weakened. We have reds westbound, a little bit of greens eastbound, so that's still where the tornado would be, but at this point it looks like it's a weakened circulation, probably interfered with by the rain-cooled air that came up from the storm to the south. We'll see if it re-intensifies. This is in a tornado watch area. Conditions certainly right for tornadoes, and these some of these watches, the severe ones, then go to 1 a.m. for San Angelo and the areas west and into the Oklahoma City metro area. Taking a look then, some of these storms, especially the high precipitation supercell that I talked about, is formed in the warm air south of a boundary. Then the dry line is the west edge of the Gulf of Mexico moisture. But north of the boundary, the winds are from the southeast, so the storm west of Oklahoma City is maybe slightly elevated, but it's tapping that enhanced east flow that has come up north of the boundary.
All right, and then, the flood threat, something everybody's thinking, are we going to get more rain? Places like Austin, like Houston.
And for that, we can turn to this computer model of what might happen. It can resolve the individual thunderstorms. It's doing a pretty good job of what's there right now. And what you see is there that it's isolated. It's not that solid squall line like we had yesterday. And as we put this in motion, it doesn't turn into anything that's solid. There's little thunderstorms here and there, and maybe occasionally a line near the San Antonio area. Maybe a stray shower or thunder shower before morning in Houston, but nothing major, nothing like we saw last night. Still, there could be something local, but probably it's not going to be in the Houston area. Houston last night, though, around this time, or shortly after this time, was getting blasted by these high-top thunderstorms, that the remnants of which now are over in Georgia and South Carolina. Last night, we've been talking about the flooding, and here's why. Radar indicates 11 inches of rain fell in that, and especially in that 9 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. time frame. And ground truthing, the rain gauges said 11.35 was the maximum in the area. So all that rain at 4 inches per hour at times was way too much for anything to handle, and of course has run off and flooded all those aqueducts. Here we have what's left of a little bow echo. Looks like maybe it's weakening a little bit, maybe getting out of radar range there. It's still coming up in the Greenville-Spartanburg area with a chance of damaging wind gusts. And up into the Midwest, it's been a big spinning upper low. Gave a tornado this morning in Illinois. Some damaging winds. Most of the storms now are in northern Ohio. It's cleared the Detroit area, but a bow echo still heading its way toward the Cleveland area. Right now, that's coming up into the area across Ashland, Knox, and Richland County. So watch out for damaging winds there, folks.
All right, thank you, Dr. Forbes. We leave you with a look near Palo Pinto County, Texas. We'll be right back after your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 85. Winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a few clouds from time to time. Low 75. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We can't shake the severe weather in Oklahoma and Texas. There are tornado warnings in both states, one west of Dallas, another west of Oklahoma City. This is the one west of Dallas-Fort Worth. This is moving toward the southeast, so it's not going to impact the Metroplex at all, at least not this cell. That has been tornado warned on for about 3 hours. Now, here we are west of Oklahoma City, just straight west of Oklahoma City on Interstate 40. This severe thunderstorm may be producing a tornado east of Weatherford, Oklahoma, as opposed to Weatherford, Texas. And then look at this, a new tornado warning up here in northern lower Michigan, east of I-75. We've got some active weather here all over the place. There's the Hook Echo just to the west of Big Creek, moving north. The threat is over for Detroit, but not for Cleveland. Severe thunderstorms blowing through Mansfield right now with damaging winds. More on this latest outbreak next.
Oh my God.
Strange lightning bolts you can hold.
This keeps getting bigger as we're going down.
An unbelievable backwards flowing river. From weird, supersized icicles.
I looked out my bedroom window. This is what I saw.
To monstrous thunderclouds caused by fire.
It's like a mushroom cloud. It's just exploding.
Oh my God, look at it go.
Welcome to the wild world of weather, where you'll see nature go nuts. Extraordinary events stranger than anything Hollywood can dream up. We discover how and why these crazy conditions happen.
Whoa! Woo!
You won't believe your eyes. This is the strangest weather on Earth. The Arecibo Observatory, Puerto Rico, September 2001. An astonishing beam of vivid blue light, bursting 43 miles upwards into the atmosphere. It's a spectacular natural event, known as a blue jet. Not much is known about these enigmatic jets, according to lightning expert George Karounis.
We're very familiar with lightning, these bolts of electricity that come out of thunderstorms. But there are types of lightning well above the thunderstorm that we know so little about. Blue jets are one example of that. Blue jets tend to go from the tops of thunderstorms up in a conical shape. Very, very bizarre, crazy type of lightning.
Blue jets are electrical discharges blasted into the atmosphere by thunderstorms. They travel 300 times faster than sound, erupting into the stratosphere for less than a second before disappearing.
That sliver of the atmosphere, we know so little about it. The only reason why we know these things existed in the first place is that there have been a few eyewitness reports from pilots flying at night seeing these strange flashes. And of course, that got the interest of scientists who have now verified that this effect does indeed exist.
Incredibly, the first recording of them was taken from an aircraft as recently as 1994. Beautiful but elusive. Very few images of blue jets have ever been caught on camera. Joe Dwyer is head of physics and space sciences at the Florida Institute of Technology.
It seems sometimes like we know more about the backside of the moon than we know about our own atmosphere just a few miles over our heads. It's absolutely incredible that these gigantic discharges, they fill up the sky, they're bright enough to see. It's amazing that we didn't notice them until just a few years ago.
Using a Van de Graaff machine, Joe demonstrates the jets on a small scale.
We can use the Van de Graaff machine to illustrate lightning. We can also use it to illustrate blue jets and the color of blue jets. A spark here in air at sea level is very similar to the color of a blue jet slightly above a thunderstorm. Since I don't want to be the target of this thing, I'm going to plug in this sphere. That'll give it something to strike. I'm going to fire it up. Voltages are rising. I'll move the second sphere a bit closer. And there you go. The reason these sparks appear blue is that when electrons move through nitrogen, they bump into nitrogen molecules, which then emit blue light at this pressure. The nitrogen's being electrified. It's glowing blue.
Recently, weather researchers have had their first glimpse of blue jets that extend even further into the atmosphere. So large, they can be seen with the naked eye. These supersized events are known as gigantic jets.
So about 10 years ago, we found out that there's this other thing in the upper atmosphere called gigantic jets. These are sort of blue jets on steroids. Instead of going 30 miles up in the atmosphere, they go twice as high, almost to the edge of space. Gigantic jets, as they leave the thunderstorm, they will look quite blue. But as the air gets less dense, as you go up towards space, nitrogen switches over from emitting blue to emitting red.
Want to see a gigantic jet? It's not easy.
What you need is a high mountaintop, if you're patient enough and you wait for your eyes to adjust to the light. And if you're just so lucky, you might get the chance to see this blue cone of light shooting out of the top of a thunderstorm. And if you do, you've witnessed something that very few people have.
Blue jets are extremely rare, but for those who do witness them, they're unforgettable. Saskatoon, Canada, March 2013. A giant icicle is clinging to the side of an apartment block.
I looked out my bedroom window. This is what I saw.
These icy growths wreak havoc wherever they form. Julian Struve of the National Snow and Ice Data Center in Boulder, Colorado, describes how icicles attach to roofs.
Icicles need a few things in order for them to form. The first thing you need is you need to have snowfall on top, for example, of the roof. And then you need to have successive sort of freeze-thaw cycles that allow the snow to melt and drip down and then freeze later. So you have this constant sort of freeze-thaw cycle that happens that allows this ice to build up like we see here coming out of the gutter.
But just why did this icicle supersize?
So places like Saskatoon, where you can have very, very cold temperatures at night, if you start melting during the day and keep freezing at night, you can just start accumulating a lot more ice that just builds up over time, and you can get very, very large icicles.
Giant icicles are amazing to look at. But when they get this big, the only thing to do is close the street and get rid of them. This one envelops the city's power lines. It takes hours to melt off with hot water. This icicle even draws international attention with its own Twitter account. Contractors take a chainsaw to it, but it's not going without a fight. Even small icicles can be sharp missiles.
You can see that the ends of them are quite pointy, so if that were to fall, it's almost like a knife piercing you. Ice is also quite heavy, so it could cause a lot of damage if it fell on you.
In 2010, in St. Petersburg, Russia, 5 people are killed and 150 injured by falling icicles. Even icicle management in the city is hazardous. This one knocks down a set of traffic lights. In China, a car is in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the driver is lucky to escape unhurt. One thing is for certain. With colder winters predicted, keeping our buildings clear of these giant icicles is going to be a battle. Coming up, mushrooms with the power to change the weather.
So it's amazing that mushrooms can control the climate underneath them by changing the humidity, changing the temperature. It's just amazing.
And a spectacular landscape created by this.
Whew, that was intense. Those things are dangerous.
This program brought to you by Fingerhut. Now you can. Shop today at fingerhut.com.
Shopping for the family used to cause a lot of stress between me and my budget. But thanks to Fingerhut, we have found our happy place.
Life is definitely sweeter.
At Fingerhut.com, we got approved to shop with low monthly payments, over 200,000 items with brand names like Samsung, Dyson, DeWalt, and with great family stuff like this Samsung TV.
And even our yoga mats.
All you got to do is click on over to Fingerhut.com and get the credit you deserve to get all kinds of great stuff for the family. Ow!
Subito.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. Ooh. Bigger, more powerful, and ready for action.
It may seem strange, but people really can love their laxative, especially when it's Miralax. It hydrates, eases, and softens to unblock your system naturally, so you have peace of mind from start to finish. Love your laxative, Miralax.
Walmart's low prices every day, it's not just about having more savings, it's about having more fun. Great get-togethers start with low prices you can trust every day.
So if you were me, what would you do next?
Start another business, build
build another website.
Hey, Heidi Highs, Heidi Lows, Heidi Weizen.
So 2014.
That's it.
With Wix, it's easy to create your own stunning website.
Heidi Whiteys.
You did this all by yourself?
Wanna try them on?
Go to Wix and create your site today.
Here we go. I told you we're going to bust out of this drought.
Keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history together.
Antelope Canyon, Page, Arizona. July 2013. A bizarre wall of debris is moving along the creek bed towards the canyon, bringing danger to anyone unlucky enough to get caught in its path.
Now, go! Come on! Whew, all right, that was intense. Okay, those things are dangerous.
But it's this terrifying flood of branches and rocks that creates a wonder of nature. Randy Cervini from Arizona State University describes how.
Antelope Canyon is a beautiful example of what we call a slot canyon. A slot canyon is a very narrow cut through the sandstone that is formed by vast amounts of running water flushing through it. What that does is it creates very smooth, very rounded walls that are just an absolute experience to go walking through. The colors are awe-inspiring. There's oranges, there's reds, there's whites. They all have to do with the particular kinds of sandstone. And as the water is eroding away those rocks, it keeps exposing new kinds of colors, and it's really an impressive sight to see. The problem is, as beautiful as that landscape is, it's also a potential death trap.
Tourists more than 100 feet down in the canyon can be unaware that miles away, a thunderstorm is producing rain, which will cascade down into the area. David Rankin has lived in the area for 20 years and has canyon guide experience.
This place is very misleading. We get less than 10 inches of rainfall a year here. So as you can see, it's extremely dry. And you wouldn't think that this entire canyon, all 200 feet, can fill almost instantaneously with water, falling from large thunderstorms, not even close to where we are now.
David's ready with his camera when the flood hits in July 2013.
Now, go! Come on! Whew, all right, that was intense. Okay, those things are dangerous.
That day, I was looking at the weather forecast, and I could see that 4 inches of rain had fallen up this basin in about 2 hours. So a few billion gallons of water were going to come down this wash, and I knew it. So I came out to this location, and I watched the flood come through and fill up this entire basin right here. Well, the floods come through, they have kind of like a front wall to them. It looks like a tsunami on land. And it's so clogged with trees and bushes that it doesn't even look like water. And it eventually enters this crack right here, which is known as Antelope Canyon. So these staircases are bolted onto the walls, and the flood in 2013 was so powerful, it ripped them right off the walls. And when it comes through, it's like a freight train. It's like a mixture of concrete filled with rocks and trees, and it's the last place you would want to be is right in front of it.
The problem is when you get an inch of rain out here in the desert, it doesn't really soak into the ground. It comes running down and it gets forced into these narrow channels. And those million gallons of water can flush out not only the rock, but any people that might be in that canyon as well.
In 1997, 11 tourists are killed when a flash flood unexpectedly sweeps through the lower canyon. Antelope Canyon now frequently closes to tourists during the rainy season. David has a last word of warning.
Anytime you're going to visit the slot canyons that are all over the Southwest, you want to make sure that you check the forecast, not only for where you are now, but where the headwaters of any of these canyons are for the chance of thunderstorms.
Los Angeles, California, January 2014. We're witnessing an incredible feat of nature. A mushroom creating its own weather system. Emily Dresser from Trinity College, Hartford, is in the team behind this strange discovery.
We believe that mushrooms create their own weather in order to disperse their spores when there is no natural wind to do so.
Wind is important to the spread of spores, the mushroom's seeds. But Emily and her colleagues are finding that if there is insufficient wind to disperse the spores, then the mushrooms have a plan B.
It's amazing that those mushrooms can control the climate underneath them by changing the humidity, changing the temperature, and as a result, they create their own wind and can carry spores, and it's just amazing.
Mushrooms start creating their microclimate with one simple act, by losing water. When the mushroom emits water through evaporation, the air underneath it is made wetter, cooler, and heavier. Gravity pulls this denser air down, producing a microwind, which takes the spores with it. Once the air moves away from the mushroom, it warms up and becomes more buoyant. The clouds of spores can then be caught by stronger overhead winds and spread. Using high-speed cameras, Emily and her colleagues can now capture this extraordinary event.
All right, so I'm going to place the mushroom right under the laser beam and then place this box on top of the mushroom cap so that the high-speed camera can visualize the little winds that the mushroom is creating.